Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Happy to Hump Day. It's Wednesday. The week moves along. It's moving steadily and consistently, and here we are. And yesterday was a nice, strong market. The CPI came out just as we were shutting the webinar down, and it showed that it was pretty much unched. The core rate's still up around 4%, but month over month, they were really excited, so they roared the market. People were saying things like, on the financial channels and so forth, like the, increasing interest rates are over with. It's done for life. Done for life. Amazing that they say it. These people manage money. It always amazes me when I hear these people speak. It's like, oh my God. I don't. Honestly, I don't have any confidence in. No wonder they underperform the markets constantly and still get paid for it. It's a wonderful thing, isn't it? For those who can't teach, and for those who can't teach, they teach Jim. That's the old Woody Allen philosophy. All right, so you can see there the dollar index down again today. It was closed down yesterday. And that was a good slam there. And let's see, what do we have on our beta platform this morning? Let's just take a look. Look at that. Looky. This is a fourth week in a sell, so obviously we weren't fooled by the buying that was going on in here. To the contrary, we were still saying over and over again, well, it's in a weekly sell, and end result is that you can see the video and you know what we were saying. And that's the way we still see this. Now, will we see the 96, 97? I think we have a shot at that. Just as much as possible seeing a 107 again too. I think this is just the range. We're inside some type of range. I think the economy is going to look a lot worse going into next year because we're going into pure stagflation. So this is just, you can only window dress so well. We have elections starting to kick out in under 60 days. And so, for the presidency of the United States, the primaries are beginning. They'll be less than 60 days. Yes, it's going to be exciting times. What do we have here? And you can see on let's go to our platform that we're still using right now. And that is right there. And there's the dollar index on that. Let's put that up on the screen. Excuse me. Right there. And you can see it right here. Same situation, weekly sell for 3 weeks. And, got clocked yesterday. So obviously you would not be long. That's one thing for sure. So it was no problem there. And when we go back to the beta is showing us 4 weeks. Beta is actually starting to pick up data. Excuse me. The beta is starting to pick up some good data. It's really collecting solid information, and we're really happy with the way it's turning out. So I forgot to put the chat line up. Let's put that chat line up. I think I looked to see if anybody asked any questions. Let me do that too. Go like that. Let's see the chat line from yesterday. Right there. And were there any questions? No questions at all. Just a thumbs up. That's about it. So let's take a look at what we got going on today. Let's back that to that. And let's go to Doc. Upcoming stream. And let's see what the chat line looks like. Nope. Oh, there's Robin. Hey, Robin. How you doing this morning? Indeed. Let's see. But, I'm happy with the beta. The beta is doing a fine job now. So, let's see. Where else are we at? That. What else can we say? I just took a piece of gum because I was coughing. What else can we say about that? I guess that's about it. So we might as well just mosey along over to the euro and see what the euro is up to this morning. I haven't looked at the pairs this morning. Right. I did see cable was down. I did see some of it, but you can see here. There's the euro pushing up again today, trading at 81 on the fast, 61 on the slow, 25% differential there. That's pretty strong. Over here, let's put it up on the beta. Now, why won't it climb? There it is. Right there. And the beta is showing us the same situation. It's showing us 4 weeks in a buy. It is showing us a couple days in a buy. Let's go check it out over here. It's showing the same thing. In this case here, it's showing 3 weeks in a buy. Fast is 4 weeks in a buy. And then you can see here, last 2 days, they've really started to lift it. Yesterday was the great explosion. One of the biggest moves we've seen in a while. And over here, same situation on J4X. So the pressure is on, and it doesn't seem to be backing off. Well, that's nice. It's happy to hump day. I see the temperatures are a little bit better out there. All right. Now let's go over to cable and see what the cable's up to this morning. Right there. I'll put it up over here. And cable down just a little bit today. Just a little pressure. Over on J4X, you see the fast is at 80.3 and the slow is at 55. So, woo, like 29%, 28%. That's nice. That's even more than the Swiss. Not the Swiss, the euro. So the pressure's on there. Let's check it out on J4X. I'm sorry, J4X. We just did. Let's check it out on our beta. There it is there. Same situation. Trying to dip down a little bit. Still a green dot going on. Just like over here. We got a green dot going on. And just as we have green hinkies over here. You can see the histogram's up for the 2 days now. And you can see we've been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks again. Where is yeah, we've been only in a weekly buy for 3 weeks. Even the slow, the fast couldn't even get in there last 4 weeks back. So that's kind of interesting also. So we're seeing that buying, and we're seeing how the beta is doing a fine job. Fine. Lucille. Okay. Then from there we dance our way over to Switzerland. Let's see how the Saltine is doing this morning. Right there. You can see a second day of pressure on the dollar. The Swiss is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, let's put it up over here. And there's the Swiss there. You can see still gaining against the dollar this morning. Still in that weekly sell, so it was a safe little sell yesterday, right there, because it's still going down. And it's nice to see it back in those 88s. Was really disappointed to see it try to climb back up, and we've been. Like we always say here, we're more of a, let's do this to recycle this. We're more of a dollar bear, I guess you could say, in some odd convoluted way. Now, what is the scaling problem with that? There you go. So you can see there, that's the Bollinger Bands, and it really has a lot of pressure on the product. It's riding the bottom band. And when you look at it with our work, it shows, it matches up to what our weekly's telling you, and that is there's pressure on the downside. And even when you had that strength here, we went into the buy. It got up over the bottom end of the Bollinger Band and died. We went back into a sell here, and then jumped back into the buy. Let's see, let's steal one of these buys. Oh, and we went back into the buy right there. Let's widen that out again, but it was still in the weekly, so we weren't exactly hungry to get long it or anything like. Get short the Swiss against the dollar. In other words, we believe that the pressure is on the downside, and you can see it here with the dotted line, looking at the zero line on the weekly. And then yesterday, finally, it was smack bang into the sell again. Let's save that. There we are. And then we take a look at the yen. The Swiss and the yen do seem to march together, and I'm sure it's probably in a sell today. Yeah, from yesterday's action. Where did all those lines disappear to almost? Right there. Let's put a sell in there again, like so. There it is. So, but we're still in that weekly buy, and it doesn't seem to be letting go. I saw a headline this morning. They were talking about the strength in some of the currency pairs like New Zealand and British pound and yen, and I thought to myself, I don't think the yen's going to last. I think the yen's going to go hang out up in here. This is, in other words, I don't think we're going to see like 142 for a while. I think we're going to hang around in this area, especially with the finance minister having to resign last 2 days. Things like that really put pressure on the country because there's a lot of uncertainty. And then I saw a few days back where the population wants new elections, but the parliament has decided not to do new elections, at least not this year. So there's a lot of frustration there. So, and I that the Bank of Japan owns something like over 50% of the top tier stocks, like what do they call it? They have a second index. I'm trying to think of the name of it. It starts with a D, I think. And so you have the Nikkei, and then you have a smaller group, and they own over 50% of all the top tier stocks in Japan. So. When I say they own like 50% of the Bank of Japan. Bank of Japan owns a lot of stock. So I don't think you're going to see much of a change there. You're going to see a little profit taking, I'd imagine, more than anything else. And we're seeing the Nikkei too. Just show you right here. Let's put it up on. Where's the Nikkei? Let's put the Nikkei up on. Where's it at? Right there it is. That's Nike. Nikkei's around here somewhere. We'll find it in a few seconds. I think that's it right there. It's trading in the 3,000 area, and and it's lifting up with the rest of the stock markets in the world right now. And you can see there we've been in a weekly buy for 4 weeks also. And so as the currency rises, loses against the dollar, it makes it cheaper to buy stock. It's like a discount. And that's what seems to be going on, is there's more pressure, or let's put it this way, more opportunity to buy the product itself. Now, do we really believe that, like all the rest of the stocks in the world, we're trading at interesting ratios at this point, and there's a lot of confusion, and many times, like, there's a lot of funds that just underperformed the market over the last couple of years because they just don't understand the rationale for the prices, and so they stay short. But there's so much capital sitting on the sidelines, and these people are paid to be invested. It slowly forces them. I understand, like another major money manager who had been short the market for a while, capitulated yesterday, and now and then after capitulating, this is the second time he's gotten this beat up, and that maybe his performance this year is probably like 3% or 4% gain when you have like the S&P 500. I think is a 17% gain for the year. They're underperforming the indices, but they'll be plus, and but they've given up a lot of opportunity because they just don't understand the group think that makes the markets move the way they do nowadays. So for us, we just follow the algorithm. The algorithm outthinks the group think, so that's always nice. So from there, that's the yen, and let's put it up on J4X too. And there is the yen right there, and you can see the fast is trading at 39.12, and the slow is at 66. So that pressure is on it there. That's close to like a 46% differential. That's big, and it's pressing down. But do I really expect to see it come challenge down in here, even the 47s? I'd be very surprised to see it get to 45. It's going to take a lot of work for it to do that. All right, now from there, we go to the great experiment. I know we've relabeled it a few different times throughout the decade, but at this point, the only way to describe the Euro Turkish lira pairs trade is the great experiment. You can see there they're pushing into some high territories. We think it's going to go visit the 33 area before this is all over with, and that's pretty hard to understand since the dollar is being sold, but they don't seem to be that happy about the Turkish lira. You can see right there, again, closed yesterday at another all-time high, and then you can see today it's trading at the all-time high. And when we go back and look, when it broke through, nope. Let's see, where's it at? It was probably last year, right? So right in here. No, not there. We'll find it in a second. I'm looking to see what the closing. See, it got up to the 30. The high there was 31.57, but the close that day was 30.04. Okay. So when I say we're closing high, it means it's settled there. That's where they did the settlement. And that's what we see here since July. We've made new all-time highs here, and we keep on closing at all-time highs there. And this is where they did the 50 percentile. You can't see any of this. Let's make sure you can see that. Yeah. And this is where they did the 50. They moved interest rates up 50%, up from 12.5 to 25, and we figured it'll get to 33, maybe the currency itself against the euro. And I don't know, are they going to add another 12.5%? Will we see rates in Turkey at? That's why we call it the Great Experiment. It's fascinating to just watch the policy of the government. I mean, here we are watching it live. It's not me making an opinion. We're just watching it live. All we're doing is looking at the math and watching how it trades. And so we call it the Great Experiment for that reason. It's very rare to see an industrialized nation do this to their currency. So I'm trying to think if there's any other industrialized nation that's done. Oh, I guess Russia in some level because their currency's gone from the 30s to 100. So it's taken the same type of punishment. But then that's Russia, of course. People drink vodka for breakfast. So what else is new? What can we say about this in particular? And that is Turkey has taken their currency from 1 to 30, or in this case here now 31. And the only thing I can figure is that it's a government policy to devalue the currency so they can get foreign investment into the country. And we'll watch the experiment go on and on and on and see how it plays out over time. All right, from there, what we do is, since we're talking about, global situations, we go and we look at the number one brick in the world. We always do that every morning, and that is the South African rand. It's the strongest of the brick currencies, the most liquid brick currency. And we'll take a look at that. And at the same time, that matches up to the metals complex, which is always fascinating. Um, and so we'll just take a look at that. And let's see, right there is the South African Rand. You can see, ooh, it made a nice dive down this morning and yesterday. So let's put a little red line. Let's move that over a little bit like that. And there's the red line. And we'll just scrunch that over like that. And we're in that weekly sell for a third full week. And you can see that downwardly slope. So we would be expecting to see upwardly slope with the currencies. I'm sorry, not the currencies, the metals complex. And let's put that up over on J4X. Right there. You know, with that downwardly slope, we assume metals has been finding ways to go up for the last month and a half. But unfortunately, gold has not exactly been playing to nature. It seems like it's building some type of base in its pattern. So here's gold right there. You can see it closed into a buy yesterday. And over the same time period, it has risen nicely, just the way South African Rand has glided down. And let's put that up over on the beta so we can see what the beta says. Beta says right there. And you can see that same action like so. And you can see there it's didn't go into the buy yesterday, which was curious. It did not. Today it's doing it instead. And the weekly is pushing into the sell there too, which makes me very curious because the weekly, the beta has been doing a fine job giving us like literally days ahead of time. So I am somewhat nervous of thinking. I mean, wondering if we're going to really see a rally. We think. Oh, let me just show you again. We think this is the base for it to move back up again. And you can see here we are in a weekly buy, but on the beta, we're pushing into a sell, and it was really hard for it to get into the buy yesterday. And so we're going to keep a close eye, because if this beta turns south and joins with the weekly, we just have to assume that we're going to see this type of action doing the same thing right here. You know, we're going to find it. You know, you can see already the fast is below the zero line on the weekly. So there's pressure on it, and this is the classic bounce. And when you look at the South African Rand going the way it has like that, you know, it's definitely, you know, telling us that they want to buy the metals. But, you know, it's not, you know, we got a battle going on there. Now let's do this too. We'll put the silver in there. And silver, and then we'll put the silver over here. Now silver went into the buy yesterday too. It's showing the strength. It's in a daily and weekly buy, and it's pushing up, and it's trying to pick up, I guess, territory to where it just had not been, I guess you could say. It's been somewhat of a surprise the way it has. Let's put it up over here. You know, it's been kind of laggard. You know, it's been moving slow. And, you know, we're not in the 26s. We've challenged the 21s. You know, it's really surprising we can't even get through 24. And we're in a weekly buy, no less, at the same time. And then when we look at it on the beta here today, even with, you know, we're showing the same thing. They're starting to play with the weekly sell. And, you know, it's been in that daily buy. And in this case here, it's been in the daily buy for, you know, what's that, 5 days, 6 days, something like that, right there. It's been, you know, it's been in that action. Yeah, that's 6 days. 6 days. button now. I think we do. Let me just check the speaker again. I think I got it unplugged. Yep, there it is. We're back. Thank you, Robin. So, I'm sorry about that. I'm glad Robin picked up on that. That's good. So, we're looking at the platinum. You can see there to strengthen that. Let's see what platinum looks like over on our beta platform. Let's see. Let's find platinum. That's PLF. That's probably December. And then, there it is right there. There's the January contract. And let's put it up on the screen. Let's see, where's that? Right there. You see, a couple days in the buy. It didn't get in there on Monday the way it did on the old platform. And at the same time, we are in a buy last week and going into a sell this week. And so we've got this real zigzag game going on here where it went into a buy 4 weeks ago, went back into the sell, went into the buy, and now we're going back into the sell. This does not, to me, tell me that like they're going to roar in here and start buying gold or silver. I think this is just the chop of the end of the year, and that's what seems to me. And again, Robin, thank you. That my chair took out the microphone, and so. Righty. So from there, that's pretty much gives us a view of the metals complex. And I don't know if we're going anywhere. I know it's a base. When I go and look at that, let's go back to the gold. I know it's a base that we're looking at. I can see that. And I can see the little strength there, and I can see the weekly buy here. But what bothers me more than anything else is the way our beta platform is saying, no, don't worry about that. There's more pressure on it than you realize, and that will be the real test here. We've seen how the beta platform has been jumping ahead of the old platform, and here we have it doing it again, like live, just like we were saying about the great experiment. We're actually watching it live, and by watching it live, it's a lot. Not only do we, it's all recorded here. Everybody gets a chance to go back and see what I said yesterday, or 5 days ago, or 5 months ago, or 5 years ago, and so, it definitely makes me concerned to see this type of action. It says, geez, interest rates are dropping. And let me just, I say that out loud, but let me just show you something with the interest rate, and we can go back to the gold again, but. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. Okay, so check this out. This is a 30-year bond, right? And we're going to widen it so it's very clear on the screen. There you go. And you can see here, we ran up to here off of that big explosion about 3 weeks ago. We ran up all the way up to the 115.20 area there. And so yesterday they exploded it back to the, in other words, they sold down for a couple days, down to the 112 area. Dropped 3 big handles. And then yesterday the news pushed it right back to that 115.20 area. And today it's stalling out just down a little bit, still in the daily buy, still in the weekly buy. But interest rates haven't really dropped any more than what they had, basically, last week. So that stuck out in my mind this morning when I was looking at the contract. It's like, we're seeing something, but it's not exactly anything more than we just saw. So then we go back to the gold complex, or the metals complex in general. And you see here back there, we haven't gone, well, this is where it did it that week, right in here. We're not seeing, 2,000 gold. We're seeing 1,976. It's nice to see that it based off of the, stayed in the 19s. That's for sure. That's why we thought it was a base. And, it's played down to the numbers here. And, but it does catch my eye. So, again, since the beta is showing some real noise, we'll keep an eye on that even closer. But I'm not convinced that we're going to be like making all-time highs here over the next week or two. Now, as long as we're in weekly buys, I have to accept that there's buying. But again, when we go over to the beta, and there's the beta, let's put it up on the screen again. When we go to the beta, we see it, it's been in a sell for all the way up until today. And you can see here the weekly is trying to flip over. So that really catches my eye. And then I look at the bond and I see that the bond is pretty much unchanged from last week. And you can see that the stock market is up another 600-700 points from it. So, it's going to be interesting. And I'm not as comfortable with next year's stock market as I am with this year's stock market. Now, we know that the election's coming on. It's very rare in an election year for the market to be down. But I think we're going to see some really strange statistics next year. It's going to be very hard to keep on painting the tape. So we'll see. I'm going to take a sip of tea there. All right, from there we go over to the energy sector now. Be your own kind of beautiful. All right. All right. I see, Robin, you saw the Air Bidens. Air Bidens. All right. So from there, let's take a look at Brent. We'll throw Brent right up on the screen on the beta. Right there. And there is Brent. We're 4 days in a buy now. I went into the buy here on Friday, and its last 3 days are in buys, but unfortunately the weekly is in a sell, and that's matching up relatively well to West Texas Intermediate. Put it up on the screen here like that, and let's put the Canadian dollar up on J4X. There's dollar CAD. There it is. You can see that trend has been, going in the direction of weaker energy prices. When the Canadian dollar goes up against the dollar, the U.S. dollar like that, which means it's losing value. When the Canadian dollar rises like this on this chart, it means it's losing value against the dollar. So, last couple of days, you can see the red there, and it's moving down like everybody else, and then you can see crude oil going down for like the last month and a half, pressure on it. And you can see we've been in a daily buy for 4 days, just like the way J4X is. And the weekly had that hesitation, where it was, you can see here, it was in a sell from up in here, went into a buy for 1 week and then rolled over again. And when we go back to looking at, let's put it up on the screen again. When we go and look at the Brent, you got that same thing. It's been in a weekly sell for 10 full weeks now. So all the way back to the beginning of September. And it's nice to see the energies. That's probably why we're seeing some of the inflation dropping, is that the price of energies are hanging sideways down at this point off of their highs of the last 6 months, And then we go and look at natural gas. Oh, what I want to do? I'm going to save this. There we are. Let's put the crude into there. There we go. So now we go and take a look at nat gas right there. Let's put it up on the screen. And there's natural gas. They knocked it down yesterday. Now they're lifting it a little bit up again. Still in the buy there, but in the weekly sell. Now let's see what we can find when it comes to nat gas here. On J4X, J4X, on the beta, you can see it's trying to get into a weekly buy. It's been in a daily buy for 3 days. And you see that pressure is trying to lift up. It was amazing to begin with. Here we are going into the winter that we actually see this product break the $3 area and play with the $3 area. It is amazing to me. I mean, we just have so much natural gas in this country that we can, the prices stay down dramatically. And then from there, we go over and look at the, right there, the Spanish energy company that we follow to get a flavor. And you can see it's breaking down below, is it below the 25? I guess it is. It's just at the $26.50 area. You can see the daily is trying to flirt its way into the sell. It's not there yet. And the weekly is still in a weekly buy. And it's not letting go. And so that is the energy sector. Is there anything else we can say about that? That's what bothers me more than anything else is that prices are not lifting. And so I really think that stagflation, in other words, inflation with stagnant economic growth, I've seen the projections from the Richmond Federal Reserve, and they're predicting 1% quarters. So they're going back to the not the Biden years, the Obama years, where next year we may be 1% of GDP for 4 quarters, and that is that will create problems when you have 3.5 to 4% inflation, with the core rate at 4. That's why we call it stagflation. Stagnation, that's one word, and inflation put together. So you got a stagnant economy that's not growing, and inflation that is higher than the growth of the economy. And that's why I'm concerned about next year, is that it's an election year, and I don't know what they're going to do because they're not going to change their policies. So, it's going to be one big war. I can't wait to see this whole thing play out. If it wasn't so important, it'd be enjoyable. It's not going to be enjoyable. It's just something that's going to have to happen. That's all. All right. So that's it when it comes to the energies and the metals. If anybody has any questions, be my guest. We can always go back and look at these things. Why don't we go take a look at the stock markets? Let's start right off, because we all know that the stock market has been lifting for like the last couple of weeks. We've showed you that. But let's take a look at Bitcoin Cash. And there's Bitcoin Cash. It's been breaking down. It led this market up. You can see here in October, it was trading in the 26,000 area, 27,000 area. And it has traded to the 38,000 area 6 days ago. 7 days back it is. And you can see here we're in the weekly buys for, throughout pretty much. We went into the weekly buy going into the week of September 25th. Now, let's go take a look at the S&P 500. Let's put that up on, there is the S&P 500 up on J4X. Whoa, what's that all about? There we go. And so since, let's see, where's that? Since September, it was heading down. And then it bottomed in late October, right there. Now, when we go and look at it over here on the beta, you see basically the same thing. So, in other words, back in here, right in here, I mean, we bottomed, this bottom right here, bottomed the stock market out. Matter of fact, it was somewhere in here, these two, can we see that? Let's use this. Right in here, it bottomed the stock market out, and the Bitcoin tried to rally with it. And then it failed the stock market and made new lows. Whereas Bitcoin, let's put Bitcoin back up there again. Bitcoin bottomed out in that time period. You see the weekly bottoming out right in here too. And it kept on climbing and climbing and climbing. Now we're moving into a situation where it's still in a weekly buy, but it's been in a daily sell for 3 days. It's missing this whole action, which is, somewhat surprising. Maybe they're selling. I mean, it's been a wonderful move when you think about it, like 26,000 to 38,000. You're talking about close to a 50% increase in value. That's pretty powerful. And so maybe they're taking some profits out of it. It's not like they're knocking it down that hard. Let's see. What else can we say about that? I mean, that's pretty much, let's do this like that. So, I mean, it's in the 36,000 area. It's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I mean, still very impressive. Now, we go over to the stock market right there, and we see, let's try it on here like that. On the old platform, you can see that, just in a weekly buy for 3 weeks, and, whereas Bitcoin went into the buy back in here, back with this area here, when it started to bounce, it went into a buy and took off and just kept on going like that. That's what's nice about the beta anymore, is that beta makes us look even closer at our own math. We really enjoy that idea of, basically trying to interpret or understand our own math. We've been using it for almost 5 decades now, over 40 years, 40 some odd years, 43, 44 years. So it's, we are always learning from it, and it is very curious and interesting. And so there's not much more to be said except for maybe what they're going to do is they're going to window dress. This is the ho-ho rally. In other words, we used to call it the ho-ho rally. The window, what do you call it? The Christmas rally. Santa Claus rally. That's it. We used to call it the Santa Claus rally or ho-ho rally, like ho ho ho. Santa Claus. And so that is. Let's see, 20 million in payments from foreign sources. Hunter Biden. Wow, they're putting all the money that the Biden family crime family has taken in. Interesting. Okay. All right, now we might as well take a look at the other indices, and there is the. We'll show you how that Russell went. We talk about that a lot. You see how. Here's the NASDAQ 100 or the Tech 100, and it's picking up steam also on the upside, showing that strength going from basically 14,000 to 15,000, almost 16,000 now. It's a nice move over the last month, and then from there, let's just see what it looks like. Do we have, I don't think we have it on the beta. We should put it up on the beta because I am curious to see, if it went into a weekly buy, 5 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago or, something of that. I guess I would doubt it did, but wouldn't surprise me if we got into the weekly buy a week before it did on the other, at least 1 week. So I'm going to add that to the system. Let me just add that as we speak. All right. Just have to get the symbol on it. Let's see. Futures, right? Yeah. NASDAQ future. There you are. Search. Not there. Let's go back. We're going to find it. There it is. NQF. Okay. Okay. NQT equals F. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. And let's add it to the system and let's see what we get out of it. Let's make a copy of it. There we are. So I am curious to see how that save. There we are. All right, now we'll get rid of both of those. And that. And that. And we're back to the chat line. And let's go back to home. And then we go back to the bottom. It's right there. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it had at least 4 weeks in there. It jumped in there a week ahead of time. And it has not seen a sell. It's been in a buy, daily buy now for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 days now it's been in a buy for this whole move. Interesting. All right. I thought that would be more insightful. And then when we look at it here, you can see we slid into the sell here and then went back into the buy. So it was 4, 8, 12 also, but it went into a sell one day and then went back into the buy. And it went back and started the weekly buy this week here, right in here. And that's pretty cool. Like I said, we used that beta to basically keep us honest. Let me just show it to you. What I mean by honest, it makes us have an opportunity to see the values of the math itself, not our opinion. Look at that. Never pushing the sell. Both are strong. It looks very good. And then let's take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, which is also, I believe, in there for 4 weeks also. See that? 4 weeks there too. The beta, now it did pick up that selling on that weakness from there. But then it jumped right back into the buy 4 days ago right there to catch this move. So, all right, not bad. What else can we say about any of that? I guess we should start thinking about too. Oh, here I want to show you the most powerful of the moves. Yesterday was a 5% move in the Russell 2000. And so that's going to start pushing the small, medium, almost no caps. No capitalized. The weakest of the week right there, RTF. That's the Russell 2000. You can see it's acting strong again today. It's the second week in the weekly buy. And when we look at it here on the old platform, let's put it up on the old platform first before I switch over. There we are. Yeah. So it jumped into the weekly buy last week. I'm sorry, this week here. And on the beta, it slipped into it last week. And that's what's got my eye on the gold. We're going to be like thinking, okay, if we see gold down, Monday and Tuesday and next week, it'll be like, ugh, the beta picked up on it again before everybody else. So, all right, so that's pretty much it. And that, like I said, what caught my eye out of all the trading, not that the Russell took off. We expected to see the Russell take off. We figured that they would be reaching for it really hard. And they did, and it was up over 5%. But what's catching my eye is those other two things, and that is the metals are showing weakness again. And at the same time, after just a day and a half of strength in them, and at the same time, we're starting to see the Bitcoin, digesting, I guess you could say that, consolidating. And so that catches my eye, and I think, it led this market. Now this could go on for a couple of weeks, where it goes sideways, just the way we saw gold go sideways for, let's throw the gold chart back up on the screen here. And here's the gold chart. And you can see, it's basically been a sideways action. I'm no doubt the last 2 weeks it's been down more. It topped out here. What is that? 4, and that's 8, and that's 12. That's like 16, 17 days ago. It topped out. This whole move right here. Maybe that's what's going to happen with the let's put it up on the screen here. There it is right there. This is the ETF we've been following now. Maybe that's what's going to happen, is that they're going to top it out, and it'll play with this range for the next couple weeks, and then by then we'll be in December, and then the big question will be is how is the market's going to react to the end of the year? So we are now in the edge of the beginning of it all. Or we're at the beginning of it. Let's put it that way. And then it's an election year. Like I said, we're less than 60 days away from elections at this point, where we start to get the primaries and they start to identify the two candidates that'll be running against each other. So, all right, we got to come up with a name for this particular one. If anybody has an opinion, just put it on the chat line. And if not, we will get out of here and we'll put up something on there for what we will call today's webinar. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. That'll be tomorrow, and that's Thursday. The week is flying by. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. All right, traders, have a safe and smart trading day. We will catch you tomorrow, Thursday. Ta-ta for now.